Hey guys, it's Desi here. I'm going to do a Photopea tutorial. Today I'm starting a new series basically based on Photopea and how to work it. Photopea is free, it's a web browser version though it does say I can install it. I've never actually tried it yet so I don't know how that works. But this is mobile, you can use it as an app on Android and iPhone. It's PC only basic, or PC browser is what I should say, is the way you use it. You don't download like you do Photoshop. Just a quick comparison, I have got Photoshop open. It looks very similar, just by that initial bit. But yeah, I'll go through the basics and hopefully this will help you guys work it. But like I say, this is going to be a series. I don't know if it's going to be weekly or if I'm just going to upload it as and when I can. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, you've got on the left hand side, I have got premium on here because I do use Photopea occasionally when I'm on my phone, just to make like PSDs and stuff and then sort them out on Photoshop and then upload them. You don't have to pay for it. It's just basically reduces ads and you get a bit more options like background remover, you can use it more frequently and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the basics. You don't have to. If you are interested, just click on account. I'm not going to because it shows you my email address and all that details, so I'm not going to show you. But yeah, that's one way you can do it. You also get access to obviously your Dropbox, and I think Photopea's like the P drive, which is also something that it offers as free. So you can just drop any file in. So if you've got a file open or a particular file, or for example, I have templates available. If you want to use those, you can, and you can just literally edit it via Photopea, or you can make your own. We're just going to make an edit today just to show you roughly. Oh, I've done this the wrong way around. How to do things. It's width by height. Make sure it's pixels that's set. These are all the templates it gives you, but obviously these are just for like social media and stuff. We're just going to name it default. DPI, you can leave that exactly the same. You don't need to worry about DPI unless you're printing. So yeah, click create. As I said, this does look very damn similar to Photoshop. There's a few differences, but pretty much is the same. The only thing I have found, I believe, you can't hold me to this, but I've yet to figure out patterns like installing your own. I don't think you actually can. Oh no, you can. Okay, ignore that comment. I couldn't find it on mobile, so that's probably why. But yeah, everything is pretty much the same then. So with the edit that you're going to do, as you see up here, it says default PSD. All Photoshop kind of like files, anything you make in Photoshop will be a PSD until you save it or export it otherwise. So hopefully that makes a bit more sense. Down the left hand side you've got this one, which is move tool. It will also give you little keyboard shortcuts if you're doing it on PC. So V is move tool. If you want the rectangular tool, press M and it will switch in between. So as you can see, lasso tool, exactly the same. If you right click, it gives you all your lassos. That will give you all your selects. This will give you artboard and your move tool. You have got object selection, which is really, really good because that's only been a recent thing with Photoshop. I'd say probably the last 2 years, maybe 3. I believe it was 3. I think it was around about COVID time when they started bringing out object selection, which basically means if you've got an image and you want to like remove the background, you can do it that way and it's a bit quicker. Obviously you've got your crops, your slice and everything. You've got eyedropper, spot healing brush. I actually love this. I've been using it a lot lately, but it's really good for watermarks, especially like if you get them from fan sites and they've watermarked it. I don't support obviously using it to get something for free that's been watermarked. That's not ideal, but yeah, it doesn't work on a big scale anyway. It's more for like smaller things. So you can either use spot or you can use healing. It uses content awareness, which is very similar to this, but basically it uses what content you've already got on the screen to try and like fix it, if that makes sense. Your paintbrush, your clone brush, your eraser, your gradient paint bucket, your blur, your smudge, your sharpen, burn, dodge, text, your pen tool, your path select, shapes, grabber, and then obviously your magnifying glass, and then your colours down the bottom. If you press this button, it obviously, if you've got a touch pad, then that helps you as well. And this is mask tool, like quick mask. It's not going to go away now. There we go. No, I don't want it. Up top you've got new, or you're under your file, you've got your new. Open and place is really handy, so that is something we'll go through today. Open more, so this is what I mean by storage. You can open via ULR, they have got templates. You can share them straight to your hosting, so if you want a PNG you can host it straight to Imgur if you're linked. Save as PSD. Export, this is what you're going to be using for like when you save your edits. I'd highly recommend exports, it's quicker. Print, and then pretty much everything else. Edit, it's obviously got your undo, step forward, step back, copy, paste, fill. Pretty much the only ones you need here would be like your free transform, and yeah, preferences if you want to change anything, but not really needed. Image, you've got your adjustments, so if you want to do a layer adjustment just on that particular layer, you do them here. Auto tone, auto contrast, auto color. Your transforms also here if you want to flip, stuff like that. A layer, obviously how you get new layers, how you adjust layers. Combine, also animation is here. That is slightly a bit different on Photopea, but I can explain that to you. Combining shapes, arranging, filter is basically all the same filters. You don't get topaz on Photopea, but I am working on a action that will work in Photopea that looks very similar to my style of topaz. So that will be coming out very shortly. Obviously your distort, your noise, your renders, your sharpen, Floria, which I have yet to figure out what that is, but yeah. And then view is just you like what you want to snap to, if you want grid, if you want layers, if you want to show paths and stuff. And then windows, obviously if you want to see any other windows that aren't currently on your screen. This might look slightly bit different. I think it is customised to how I normally have it. There's just a few things I've taken out, but it's nothing major. So it should look pretty damn similar. Right. But yeah, that's pretty much basics. Over on the right hand side you've got your history, you've got swatches, layers, I won't worry about paths, the channels. You've also got your info, you've got like properties, you've got your actions. They are both from Black Kitten, Violent Ends, so yeah, they're just ones I've got preloaded. Character, so any text things, paragraph things, CSS, but I wouldn't even bother with that. Gallery, if you've got anything, like if you want to use any of their stuff, and brush shapes. So yeah, that's all the right hand side. That's pretty much it. You'll see I've got a ruler at the top. You can literally remove that by pressing Control and R, or if you're on Mac, Command and R. I use it a lot. It's on my base Photoshop, so if I create a new image, this is the only thing you don't get. You don't get like set ones, but yeah, it's pretty much the same. But yeah, as you see, I've got the ruler at the top. I have timeline at the bottom. Obviously you don't get timeline on Photopea, which is a bit of a shame, but it happens, unfortunately. There have to be some differences. So yeah, that's that. But that's pretty much it. There's not really much else to explain. If you've used Photoshop before, some obviously keyboard shortcuts aren't the same. I, for example, keep pressing Control and T, which is transform on Photoshop. It opens a new tab on browser. So you have to press, I think it's Control Alt T. Yeah, Control or Alt Control T, whatever. Either same way, same works. To move things around, or you just go edit. But yeah, pretty much most keyboards are the same. I think group is slightly different as well, but that's the generics. It's pretty simple otherwise. So like I say, you've got the open, you've got open and place. I like to use open and place if you're adding stuff onto the same, onto the image, if that makes sense. So if you're adding it onto this image, yeah, it's fine for that. So I'm just going to, I've got so many stuff I'm working on at the moment, so I'm just going to literally, as you can see there, I'm just literally adding in a PNG. And as you can see, it's already put it in. And yes, you can still transform to make it fit, or however you want to do it. And then, like I say, you have to press Control, Alt and T just to transform it if it's easier for you. But that's the basics. For edits and stuff like that, if you want a border, and then inverse. So what I did was the select tool, got the section, click inverse, and then down here you've got your layers, so click your layer, paint bucket, and that's that. So that's the basics. Essentially, you've already got a start of an edit here. I forgot to mention down here is all pretty much the same. So you've got your delete, your add layer, your groups, your adjustments, masking, effects, and linking. So yeah, that's those. And then exactly the same with your open in place. If you want to do it again, you can just do open, like I say. We're just going to add this in. It's just an image that I found of thingy off Google, but you can literally, you can't like drag and drop like you would on Photoshop. You can't like pull these out, which is really awkward. So sometimes you do have to go edit and copy, and then edit, paste, and do it that way. And then obviously your free transform. Like so. I'm just doing a random edit, as you can tell, but yeah. If you're doing PSDs, click open. I'm pretty sure I've got some PSDs here, yeah. Vile Crown, I've got some of her PSDs because I've subscribed to her, but I'm just going to show you an example with one of hers. Find the PSD that you want. And what you have to do is you have to grab the file, or rather than obviously with Photoshop you'd separate it. You grab the group and you literally drag the group over, like so, and then you can like move it around and everything. That's how it works with Photopea. You can't, for example, if I did it over here, you would, I'm just going to grab another layer, you would go like this and then drag it over. You can't do it on Photopea. So how you have to do it is the way I've just shown you. So you open the PSD file and you drag the PSD file over. And obviously if you want both the layers, you get both the layers. That didn't transfer over. There you go, it's because I was dragging it onto the bar, not the thingy. No, it won't drag underneath. And then obviously you can adjust it if you need adjustments. But yeah, that is the basics. Once you're happy with, say, your edit, you would just, I would flatten, and then file, export PNG. And then obviously I've named it default. I think by standard when you export it, it goes straight to your download files. It doesn't go like a set place. If you want it to go to a set place, you'd have to do, I don't think you even can save. No, I think you can only do export. Yeah. So what I tend to do is I just export them, and then obviously go down to files and drag them over and move them to where I want them to be, or just make like a download folder or a folder within your download folder, just for edits and stuff, and then you can separate them or change them over. But yeah, I hope that's made sense. I apologise if I have been rambling, but this is, like I say, just the basics so far on how to make like an edit, how to add PSDs over, how to add stuff in. Text is pretty much exactly the same. I'll just do that actually quickly before I say bye. It will load local fonts if you press this button here. So any fonts you've got installed on your PC, it will be on there. It also does work on mobile. I would suggest, if you are going to be editing mobile, I would suggest paying for Photopea, because then it will save your fonts and everything that are local. I can use my PC fonts on my phone and vice versa, but I understand not everyone can pay for it. I think it's like $10 for 30 days, $15 for 90 days or something. It's very good value for what it is, but obviously you don't have to. If you're just editing on the PC, it's just a great alternative. So, and it's free. So yeah, let's show you one that font. Right as you normally would, and then you go your little character settings over here. This is where I got a little bit confused and I've had to work with it. Tracking is obviously like the spacing between the letters, and leading, which is really weird, is your gap between, so like your line height. So if you've got, not that you can really see this, if I have, I don't know, two or more than one one name on your Discord, on your site name, so your display name, that's what I'm trying to get. If it's like multiple or several words, obviously you don't want them all like crammed together, unless you're doing like well, I do, there's some things I do like that way, so yeah. But if you get what I mean, I'm just going to do black stars as an example. So if I didn't want it like one line, you'd select all of it and then you do leading. Oh, sorry. If you wanted it on 2 lines, you would then go to leading and you can adjust the gap between, if you see what I mean. So yeah, that's that one. But yeah, everything else is pretty much the same. Baseline just means obviously how far you want it in that setting. I just leave it at 0. This one is your height of your font, as in like the actual height of the font, not sizing, height. And then obviously width. Some fonts do look better when they're slightly shrunk. There are a few fonts I use, especially like pixelated, kind of like silkscreen and stuff, that do look better if you adjust the width or the height. But that's more complicated stuff, so don't worry about that. You can put auto, but it will give you a big gap between them, so I'm letting you know about leading now. Size, obviously, self-explanatory. Regular is obviously if you want it italic or not. Bold, italic. Obviously, if you haven't got an italic, you can force it italic. Capitals, I think that's like small capitals, big capitals. I can't remember what the actual terminology is, but very tiny, underline, and strike through. Very tiny, I do think sometimes does help if you've got like a biggish font like that, and you wanted to do it like, I don't know, like this, for example, like a small tag, is quite handy for that. Let's say I wanted to do it like that. And just to briefly go into brief effects, if you go down here, this is where you get your blending effects and options. Outglow is usually the one I tend to use, and yes, you can drag these bits around. It's just you can't drag tabs yet or open projects. But yeah, this is the setting that they give you for glow. I usually tend to change it to white. Actually, I think it might be my basic. Yeah, because you can do define new. So that is what I would have my glow as, and then obviously you've got drop shadow if you want to add your drop shadow in and everything. But that is your basic effects, so where you get your strokes, your inner shadows, your gradients, your overlays. It's all there, but I'll go through that another time with you, because you can import fonts, ASLs, so there are loads on DeviantArt and stuff that you can use. But yeah, that is the basics. And I hope this has made sense. If you do have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Review is on, but I do check it like pretty much daily now. But yeah, hopefully this has made sense, and welcome to Photopea. Hopefully this will help a lot of people out there who don't have Photoshop and want to start editing. So yeah, thank you for watching.